Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict, right? Happy Sunday, happy snow, rain. What a mess out there, guys. I was out plowing in the Bobcat and, a little bit of shoveling. Not, thank God, really not much shoveling, but yeah, man, what a wet, heavy mess. Anybody that had to shovel, I feel for you. Two of my brothers, both had snowblowers that went down on them today, so I got to make it a point to go out and fix the snowblowers for the next storm. I feel bad I didn't make it down there to help, and I apologize to that, guys. We'll remedy that real quick, okay? Um, Guys, please like, subscribe, share these videos to anybody that might help. I want to, get in the habit of saying that early on. And please, guys, know I appreciate each and every one of you being here with me. We just hit 900 views today, and that's mind-boggling to me, right? That's absolutely amazing. I love doing these things because I'm trying to get a message out there, but it means the world to me that people are actually starting to pay a little bit of attention to it, and that's really cool, okay? So we're gonna do. I told you I was gonna start writing stuff down so I get a better message out, right? And I think this is gonna be part of a series as well. And I did. I got a couple pages of stuff here. I'm not gonna, read it word for word, but at least it's some pretty good bullet points on how I want to go about this, right? So, I talk about prayer constantly, right? Because literally, this channel is dedicated to fixing your life through the power of faith, and not even just overcoming addiction, but fixing your life, like overcoming anything. And I went from somebody that needed to overcome an addiction, and that's behind me now. I mean, we're talking in under a couple of months. Addiction's the last thing I ever think about anymore, other than trying to pull people out of it, right? I'm now looking at being the best version of me I possibly can. Like I want to go all the way here. Like I'm looking at really building a life that is second to none, and doing it so quickly. Like, this is not something I could have done myself. I've tried it myself many times, guys. It's not me. This is the hand of God in my life. So I'm going to start explaining how I got here, and hopefully some of you guys will try it, because I guarantee you, if you try it, you're gonna get the same success that I have, and it's gonna blow your mind. I mean, like I said, I told you guys I pray all throughout the day because I'm not that I'm afraid of losing anything, but just because I'm that grateful for where I am today. I've said it 1,000 times, I've literally become a new person, right? So I'm gonna call these the steps to victory. And number one, obviously, pray. When you pray, and it's not just praying, guys. There are ways to pray, and again, there's no wrong way to pray, but there are ways to pray what I consider scientific prayer, and in doing so, I feel it makes it much better, because we'll just get into it, but yeah, it's way more powerful, and if you try it, you're gonna find the same thing, right? So first and foremost, guys, pray from the heart. Mean what you pray for, want what you pray for, be willing to fight for what you pray for, okay? Because he knows that. I mean, God, universe, high, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it, God knows your heart. He knows what you're going to say before you say it. So come to him honestly, because he gives you free will, okay? And that's something so many people overlook, and that's something I grasp. That's why I had such a hard time grasping this concept. Is, how can they be a God with all the hell in the world, right? Well, because again, he gives us free will, and that's huge. So when you pray, ask for his will for you. Turn your will over to him. Pray from the heart. Mean what you pray for. And when you pray, don't just ask for trinkets and shiny shit, all right? Because, I mean, if your life is great and that's all you need is something shiny in your life to make you perfectly happy, then pray for something shiny in your life and just go get it yourself, all right? But I'm talking about, like somebody like myself who needed an entire new way of thinking, living, being, an entire new personality, a new life, new beliefs, new desires, and new love for myself, right? Because I didn't have that, or I'd lost it. So yeah, I call it praying scientifically, right? It's the golden key to success, guys. It really is. It's the key to victory. It's the key to happiness, harmony, and victory. God's got dominion over anything and everything, okay? He's a dominion over all things. You don't necessarily need to believe that the way that I do in the beginning, but just start and trust and believe that as you start to pray the way I talked about in the way that I've done it, you will start to see the manifestation, the demonstration of miracles in your life. You being the first one, the way you can overcome anything, and the way things change in your life. You will come to see that. Trust and believe. You will believe. You will believe wholeheartedly. You will know. Faith is one thing. Knowing is a whole another level, right? So have a little bit of faith, and once you start doing this, you will come to know the way that I know, right? God is omnipotent, guys. He's got dominion over everything. As you see the results, you're going to come to know, like I said, And the thing it is, guys, The reason I say this is you should always question everything. Don't just take my word for this. Try what I'm telling you. Try it and see what happens in life. Like, question everything. I mean, that's our human nature. This is how we expand and grow. I mean, I question everything, but now I'm not questioning things from a point where I refuse to believe. Right? My mind is open. I'm finding my belief system expanding in ways I never thought I could in a very short period of time because I'm open to it. But I'm also questioning things that I never questioned before. And the thing is, obviously, as you start to question things, you start to find answers to things, and it expands your mind, expands your beliefs, it opens up new doors, right? So, yeah, no, you should always question everything, right? And understand that things are going amazing, right? My life is changing, and I'm no different than anybody else out here. So what I'm trying to say is, we all hold the key. You and I are just as holy as any priest, rabbi, archbishop, pope. Like, God doesn't care what robe you put on. He cares what's in your heart, right? He cares that you come to him real, honest, and loving, and you show love for him, you respect him, and you praise him, right? So again, we all hold. What was I? Yeah. We all hold the keys, right? Literally, we all hold the golden key to victory, as I call it. Nobody's above anybody else, right? It's all about how much love you give to God and giving that love to God and coming to him honestly, right? Come to him consistently. Come to him when you're happy, when you're sad. Cry, you know? I can't tell you how many times I shed tears when I was still in active addiction, trying to come out of active addiction and not having the strength to do it on my own and wanting it so bad. And I'm not ashamed to admit that, guys. My life was about to be forfeit. I mean, it was them just being honest, right? I'm not trying to be dramatic. I mean, I was literally, for the umpteenth time, knocking at death's door. And I didn't see a way to go on, and there was no way to go on living the way I was. And the fact that I've turned around, and because I've taken these simple steps, I've put my heart into it. My heart is in this, guys. I still have a major issue with being on camera with my mouth the way it is, and I'm not comfortable with this stuff, and I'm trying to get more comfortable. I'm trying to show more of my personality because I really appreciate you guys being with me, and I'm trying to make it a little more lighthearted and fun, and maybe not necessarily in this topic, but again, I'm doing this because it has been so eye-opening to me. And it makes me understand that each and every one of us deserves better. Each and every one of us deserves a life that's second to none. And I'm building a life that's second to none, and you can too. I don't care what your situation, I don't care where you come from. You can do at least as much, if not greater, than I have, right? So give it a shot. So like I said, we all have the keys, any one of us, right? God loves all of us. He makes, and I've said this before, God makes no two people alike, and no two people have the same path. But we can all take very similar steps to get us started on our path and to find our path. And that's a big part of this, guys. This is how you find your path, the early stages, right? So, So, you'll be victorious. In scientific prayer, all right, here's the thing. When you pray to God, right, start asking him, all right, I guess we come up on that, all right? So, when you pray scientifically like this, what you're doing is you're removing yourself from the equation. And I'm going to get into that in a second. Sorry, I thought I kind of have this a little bit backwards, but anyway. When I talk about scientific prayer, right, you remove yourself from the equation because you trust and believe that God wants better for you than you could possibly imagine. He sees you in a bigger light than you could possibly see yourself. God doesn't hold the same insecurities and limiting beliefs and weaknesses or portrayed weaknesses. And any type of limiting belief that you may have, you don't even know you have at this point. Like, I didn't know I did. I thought I was the man. And as I got introspective and started learning, I mean, I was dealing with all this pre-programmed societal programming, life programming, limiting beliefs that were holding me down, holding me back, right? So try this scientific route of prayer because it removes yourself from the equation, literally gets you out of the way of miracles happening in your life, okay? And that's huge because the only person in the world that is truly holding us back is ourselves, okay? It's certainly the truth for me. So when you remove yourself from that equation, you take all your limitations out of the way, and then you just become the channel or the conduit through which God is doing his work, and that's all you want to be. We're all here at our highest self, at our best, is when we're literally just being a conduit or a channel for God to do his work. When you reach that point, things start miraculously changing in your life. And that's literally that's the idea of scientific prayer, okay? So, and how do we get there, right? Well, stop praying for specific things or remedies, right? It's more about acknowledging the situation that you're praying about than asking, say, I have a couple examples here. Like, all right, so yeah, acknowledge the situation at a fundamental level. For example, don't ask God to have so and so fall in love with you, right? Instead, ask God for help finding out why you don't feel worthy of so and so's love, right? Things of that nature, right? Instead of if you're praying, if you want a better position at work, don't pray to get X job, right? Because again, God might see something better for you. You may end up owning the damn company, right? Pray for insight as to why you feel insecure or unqualified for that position that you want to go, that you feel you need to pray to get, right? And now, obviously, as a side note here, guys, if there are areas in your job, and this is a common sense note, if there's an area in your job that you have actual lack of experience or lack of knowledge, then by all means, pray to God for it, right? But meet Him halfway and go start studying that. Building those skills, building some studying some knowledge, right? Meet God halfway. Nothing's going to happen without you doing a little bit of legwork. But you and God working together can get anything done, okay? So that's just an interesting little side note, just so you don't think you can just, it comes back to that whole, I said one prayer last night, why didn't I wake up in a mansion this morning, right? I mean, come on, guys. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can't get, right? But again, if there's something you're not quite qualified for yet, start learning, start getting, building the qualifications for it, by all means, okay? So on and so forth. Now, again, try praying for finding what His will for you is, instead of, it's part of one of the prayers I say every night is, teach me to pray not with clenched hands, holding on to what I think is best and what I think I need, but praying with open hands, ready to receive His provision, His guidance, His correction, okay? Don't be afraid to be corrected by God, guys, because He does it in a gentle, kind way. We were so programmed to think of God as this. God doesn't have vengeance. God has vindication. He's not vindictive. He has vindication, okay? Yes, there's karma. That's part of the universal law. But again, if you've done something that you're going to receive karma for, you're better off taking that head on and working through your karma and getting over it, rather than repeating the cycle. And those are your two choices, right? So, but again, that's not God, dude. That's just a universal law of behavior, okay? So, yeah, try praying for His will. So ask Him for what you want, and then ask Him if it's His will. And then just say, you know what, Lord, show me your will for me. And just pray for His will for you. I guarantee it's on a bigger scale than you could possibly think you possibly deserve. Because we're all programmed to limit ourselves, okay? So give it a shot. Yeah, again, He sees you in a much better light than you do. We don't always see the big picture the way He does, or we don't always see the ways that we've become, conditioned or programmed to feel small. God sees the big picture. He knows our heart. He knows your soul. He knows what you can become, not necessarily what you are or what you're going to be tomorrow. So try trusting in His will, because He's got a bigger, grander plan. And when you align yourself with God's plan, amazing things will happen in your life. I promise you that. I'm living proof of it. I'm watching it. That's why I'm doing these videos. You guys are seeing little by little how quickly these things. I had this stupid thing in my face for 4 years, right? Look at that thing. It's gone. I'm so happy about that. And it's not cancerous. Miracle, right? Not necessarily I met Him halfway. I took the steps, but He got me off my ass to go do it. Got me out of my own way. So yeah, He sees the bigger picture. Put your faith in this. Meet Him halfway by being the best. And that's the other thing, guys. One of the things I pray for every day, I ask Him to help me become the best version of myself. If you want God to do all these things for you, you best be willing to meet Him halfway. You best be willing to be the best version of yourself you've ever been. Right? That's literally what you should be praying for, okay? So meet Him halfway, And what I mean by that is being willing to do the work, being willing to be the best version of yourself, and actually become that, right? The places where you lack, that you're aware you lack now, start working on them, right? Start doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and particularly in situations when it's hard, okay? Now, especially and do it when nobody's looking. That's the biggest thing the universe and God sees, is when you're doing the right things, you're not cutting corners, when you're doing the things that are a little bit harder, when nobody's watching you, nobody's there to either judge you or congratulate for it. Do those things consistently. It changes who you are, and it starts to change the things that you receive. And I'm living proof of that, because that's literally was one of my mantras, right? Do the right thing, particularly when nobody's looking. And I'm telling you, it's literally changed who I am, and it's changed the things that are happening to me, okay? Let me see. Yeah, these are the things that change us for the better. And when we change for the better, our lives get better. You start to literally attract blessings into your life. Well, I didn't think I wrote enough here, and we're already 15 minutes in, so I'm going to start trying to bring this along and save some next one. But again, and the biggest thing is, guys, I talk about all the time, helping others. And when I mean helping others, don't just only, I'm not talking about just doing something good for somebody, but have the balls to correct somebody when they're out of line. And if it brings unwanted attention to you, then maybe you can understand that you did something different than you normally would, right? So maybe that's an area that you lack in as well. And that's something that was big for me. It's the reason I bring this up, guys. When I had to start standing up for things that were right, and people were looking at me sideways, because normally I would have said the same thing yesterday. Well, that's an area for me to look at, another area for me to work on, right? Another area for me to pray about. And when you pray about things, things come to light. You pray to bring things into the light, whether you want to or not. It's the only way to rectify things is you got to bring things in the light. You can't shove them in the closet and expect them to get better. Okay? Now, and I understand how difficult that can be, right? Because all of a sudden you're acting totally new, and many people think you're coming off as holier than thou. So correct them in a kind way and explain why, right? And explain why you're saying it, because I'm trying to better myself, not belittle somebody else. And do it that way. Don't do these things to belittle anybody. God does not like a false prophet, guys. Do not be a false prophet. Do not think you're better than anybody. None of us is better than anybody else. I'm first. I say it in every video, guy. Good things are happening to me because I'm doing good things, not because I'm better than anybody. That's why I know anybody else can do this as well, because I know I'm not better than anybody else, and nobody else is better than me either. Because you got to have confidence in yourself. We're all equal. God makes every one of us equal. We're all loved by God, and that's everything. That means we're made in His image. We're all divine love, like literally at our core. That's who we are. So, guys, correct those who need correction, but in a kind and decent way, and not in a holier than thou way, because God does not like that. All right? Either do I. Nobody should. And I know how difficult this can be, guys, because it starts to get uncomfortable. But again, you got to walk the walk and you got to talk the talk. But before you can talk the talk, walk the walk. And I know it's not easy, but remember, if you want to transform your life, right, you got to make transformational changes. And if you got in order to make transformational changes, you got to transform your life, right? You got to make changes to receive changes. All right, and I tell you, when you start to make these transformational changes, you're going to start to understand that you have way more control over your life than you ever thought you did. Praying is bringing things to the surface. God's meeting you halfway, but He's making you understand that you are a very powerful being. Every one of us has the power to make our life as great as you possibly could want it. So it's a matter of whether you're willing to be obedient, follow the steps, believe in yourself, have the confidence, and go after what's right and stand up for what's wrong. Stick up for what you believe in, right? If you don't stand for something, guys, you fall for everything. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. I didn't want to have any conflict, right? Well, if I don't have the conflict, it means I'm not standing up for people that need help. And I can't be that person. I stand up for everybody that needs help, right? I'm literally a walking... I go for I believe in the underdog because I've been the underdog, right? So, guys, do that, okay? You'll start to understand the control that you have over your life. And the way we act, the choices we make, the things we put into life dictate the environment that we live in. So as you do these things, things will start to be shaken up, right? You gotta make changes to get changes, right? And people are gonna talk. If you're correcting somebody, let them talk, okay? If you explain yourself and you do it consistently, they're gonna respect you for it. And if not, part of changing and ascending or becoming a better person and wanting a better life is understanding that not everybody's gonna come with you. Those that love you will respect you for it. And they'll probably start following along as they see changes being made in your life and seeing that you're living a better life and things are getting better for you. But understand that not everybody's at this level. But even those you can't bring in with you now, it doesn't mean they'll never come along. When they see the things in your life getting better and you doing better, that's going to plant the seed of belief in their life as well. And that's why I'm doing this stuff, guys, because this is how we change the world. When I talk about changing the world in these videos, this is what I mean. And these are the actual action steps that will get us there. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. We're coming up on 20 minutes. A little longer my typical video, but I think it's a little more important, and I think it can give you a little more stuff to digest instead of just me talking about, the half-ass this, half-ass that, right? I think it's very important. I'm actually going to spend the time to write these things out. I'm going to give you my researches, the stuff that I do. I read a lot of books. I do a lot of research on this, guys. I'm working very hard to find the keys to victory and the keys to changing my life, and I'm trying to hand them to you guys. Guys, I paid full price for every mistake that I've made in my life, okay? As a matter of fact, I paid such a high price for them, I think I should get a discount for a few of you guys, and that's what I'm trying to do, is give you guys the discount price on mistakes you can make by giving you the cheat sheet, right? Guys, remember, God loves you. I love you. I so appreciate you guys being with me, guys. Please hit the subscribe button. I got hundreds and hundreds of people watching, and like I'm not quite at 40 subscribers yet. It doesn't cost you anything. Nobody will necessarily see it, but it really helps me, and it helps YouTube give my videos to more people. Okay, I'm just trying to build a little community here, guys. I'm not going to be able to quit my job over this, but I'd like to build a community and start making a difference in life. That's what we're doing this for, guys. God loves you. I love you. Follow these steps. Pray from your heart. Help somebody along the way. Let's make this world a better place, all right? Thank you. See you in the next one.